breaking news is out of Northern Virginia this morning, where more than a dozen people are confirmed dead after a mid-air plane crash near Reagan National Airport. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, January 30th. I'm Rob Cardwell.
And I'm Reba Hollingsworth. We have team coverage for you this morning after investigators say an American Airlines regional jet carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew collided in the air with a Black Hawk helicopter carrying 3 soldiers from Fort Belvoir.
Brendan King will join us live from Richmond International Airport, where some flights have reportedly been diverted following the crash. But first, Caroline Colburn joins us in the studio with an update on what exactly happened and the number of casualties at this time. Caroline, what do you know so far?
Well, Rob, Reba, good morning. We're learning this morning at least 18 bodies have been pulled from the Potomac River as the search continues for the other 49 people on board the American Airlines flight and the military helicopter. Earth camera video captured the moment the commercial passenger jet and helicopter collided in midair just before 9 o'clock near Reagan. We're choosing not to show that video this morning. The Army says the Black Hawk helicopter involved was on a training flight with 3 service members on board. We're learning American Airlines Flight 5342 was operated by PSA Airlines from Wichita, Kansas, and was approaching the airport with its 60 passengers and 4 crew members. Several members of the U.S. figure skating community were on board that aircraft, the organization told CNN early this morning. The athletes, coaches, and family members were all returning home from the National Development Camp held in conjunction with the U.S. Figure Skating Championships in Wichita. The statement went on to explain. Now, another man says his wife was also on board that flight, returning home from a business trip.
She texted me that they were landing in 20 minutes. The rest of my text didn't get delivered. That's when I realized something might be up.
The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind, there is pieces of ice out there, so it's just dangerous and hard to work in. And because there's not a lot of lights, you're out there searching every square inch of space to see if you can find anybody. The divers are doing the same thing in the water. The water is dark, it is murky, and that is a very tough condition for them to dive in.
That water also up to about 24 feet deep, we're learning, and the search in those frigid waters continues this morning. We're told likely could for multiple days, and multiple agencies are investigating right now, including the Pentagon, FBI, Federal Aviation Administration, with the National Transportation Safety Board taking the lead. We'll have much more to come at 6:30. Reba.
All right, thank you, Caroline. Now, following the crash, flights were grounded at Reagan National, and some flights scheduled to land there are being diverted to right here at Richmond International.
Brendan King is joining us live this morning from RIC with reaction from Virginia lawmakers to the crash. Brendan.
Last night, we know of 2 flights that were diverted. Originally, they were on their way to Reagan National to Washington, D.C. Instead, they were diverted here to Richmond International Airport in Henrico County. Those flights originated in Savannah, Georgia, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. We also have interview from someone who actually witnessed the crash. Listen to what they said.
Yeah, I'm remembering the flares, and then shortly thereafter, all the police cars and fire trucks just started flooding on the tarmac and on the airport.
According to officials on the ground, all air traffic in and out of Reagan National Airport has been halted until 11 a.m. today. A conference room has been set up at the airport for family members to gather, and I'm sure they're grieving right now. A press conference with D.C. and federal officials scheduled for about 7:30 this morning. We should learn more about this process, the rescue efforts, and we're also hearing from a council member in Wichita, Kansas, where that flight originated.
They have a family support group together, volunteers that come, and there is one family here they're talking to and counseling, but if other families want to come here for support, there is support groups here that they can come talk to.
We are hearing from our elected officials. Governor Glenn Youngkin posted on X overnight, "I have been briefed by our emergency management team and Virginia State Police about the tragic crash at Reagan National Airport tonight. Extensive resources are fully supporting the search and rescue efforts." Senator Mark Warner, the Democrat from Virginia, posting on X, "I'm closely monitoring the situation at DCA, and my office is in touch with officials as the response effort begins." So here at home right now, I do not see any flights scheduled to fly to Reagan National Airport. Airport spokesperson Troy Bell told me earlier this morning that he does not see any other diversions, any other impacts to local flights here in Henrico County. In our next half hour, you'll hear more reaction from those who witnessed this horrific crash in Washington, D.C. That's all ahead at 6:30.
Brendan King reporting for us. We're going to have team coverage of this tragedy in Arlington throughout the day here on CBS 6. We're also sending crews there, including CBS 6 anchor Janine Samuels and reporter Elizabeth Holmes.
Janine will anchor our coverage live from near Reagan National this evening. You can stay with CBS 6 throughout the day to learn the latest on this deadly crash. We'll also share updates online at WTVR.com.